Hello. Today we will be talking about the greatest Roman emperor of all time, Marcus Ulpius Trajanus, also known as Trajan. He was born September 18th, AD 53.
Push! 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 Oh!
I will name you Trajan.
And thus, Trajan was born. Trajan first gained fame as a military tribune. He became commanding officer of a legion in Spain after great success. After even more success, he was appointed consul in AD 91.
High spirits, man.
He became governor of Upper Germany in AD 97. Shortly after, Nerva adopted him as a successor and co-leader. Nerva died on January 27th, 98 AD. Thus, Trajan ascended to the throne. Trajan was the second of the 5 good emperors. Also, he was the first emperor born outside of Italy, as he was born in Spain. Oh, so you want to learn more about Trajan? Well, let me tell you. He was a very militaristic leader. He conquered many regions. In fact, he expanded the Roman Empire to 3.5 million square miles. The 2 most important aspects of his reign were that he had forward policy on the frontiers. Also, he was very active in both administrative and building activities. Such quality bard. Now, Trajan made a lot of accomplishments during his lifetime. He made many advances in public works, and he changed the way Rome was governed. But I think that his most major accomplishments came in his military feats. Now, the greatest one of this was that he conquered the Parthians, which was Rome's greatest rival.
We are the Romans! We are the Parthians!
Victorious!
Call me Shaquille O'Neal. Other than Parthia, Trajan also annexed Dacia under the Dacian Wars, and he annexed Armenia and Arabia. Rome reached its greatest extent as an empire under Trajan. Some of Trajan's greatest accomplishments came in the public works and engineering projects in which he commissioned. Some examples of these projects were roads, aqueducts, buildings, and more. He funded these projects by foreign wars. The money that he got from his foreign wars funded the public works. He created many roads that connected Italy, including the Via Traiana. The reason that he spent so much time on public works and engineering projects is because he wanted to preserve the prosperity of Italy. First slide, we see Trajan's Column, which was built to commemorate his victory at Dacia. As you can see, it is a great work of public works, and it has beautiful, beautiful architecture. Here we have an example of a bridge that Trajan built, and in Cassius Dio's Roman history, he absolutely raves about all of the bridges that Trajan built. And some of these bridges include the Danube, there's a bridge over the Rhine, over the Euphrates, over the Tigris, the Araxes. This one is the Tagus Bridge at Alcatara, and there's also the Aqua Flavia. Oh, and there's one over the Tormes and the Ophides in Spain. And so Trajan just built a great number of bridges, which helps the public and is also an example of some very sophisticated engineering projects. Here we have Trajan's market, and all of these stations would be filled with many people buying and selling different goods, which is truly a great advancement of public works, which greatly improved the lives of many. Here is Trajan's Forum, and the Forum dealt with many aspects of political life. Also, you can see it's a great work of architecture. We have the Circus Maximus, and Trajan helped to reconstruct the Circus Maximus. We have the arch at Benevento, and it is just an absolutely beautiful arch. There's plenty of art all throughout it, and it's a great tourist attraction nowadays. And finally, here are an example of the greatest road that Trajan built. So in green is the Via Appia, but what Trajan built was the Via Traiana, and it is the red line, this road. So all of these are great examples of engineering projects and public works that were built under the time of Trajan. Oh, hello. So today we're going to talk about how Trajan strengthened his own position and the office of the empire. Now, one of the ways that he did this is he took personal control of Roman armies during his reign. This really established him as a militaristic leader. Also, he launched an aggressive foreign policy, which really showed that he was a force not to be reckoned with. Now, at home, he made sure that there was a sense of stability because he kept the Roman people happy, as we saw earlier, and this really made sure that everything was very stable, and it really strengthened his position. Now, when he started conquering other areas, like on the outskirts of his empire, there were some problems with those people, but there was great stability in Rome, so in areas close to Rome, so it really kept the empire very strong.
This is Rome. This, however, is the outskirts. No money, no love.
What a catch. So we just learned about the public works and engineering projects that Trajan excelled in. Now, although Trajan didn't do very much to advance the cultural aspects of Rome, he did do a lot, and he made a lot of innovations to the governance of the empire. For example, he was a strong proponent in helping abused children. He helped relieve the poor in such a great area of the population, such a large area of the population. He really helped them out and made sure that he was committed to helping them out. He forced candidates for public office to donate to Italy. So, let's say I wanted to run for office in Italy, I was forced to make a donation so that I could improve different areas of Italy. He also appointed temporary officials to control town budgets in many towns. These people often became permanent. This helped with the economy and how everything in Rome ran. Also, he decentralized the government and spread it out. This allowed the specific areas, different areas of Rome, to be governed as they should, as opposed to one overarching government having one big law of the land. As we can see, Trajan had a lot of innovations that help improve the government of Rome and make it much more efficient. This all contributed to make Rome a much better place.
Impoverished human being. Take some food. Take some wealth.
Trajan, you have relieved me from my poor state of living.
Wow, I
could really see Trajan's baths being something we use on a daily basis after a long, hard day of work, don't you think?
Oh, definitely.
Wow! Thanks to running water, we have these great baths that Trajan made.
I know, they're awesome. He hired Apollodorus, the Greek architect. Did a great job.
Really? I want to learn more about Trajan's baths.
Yeah, remember that palace that Nero had, spent all our money on it? Yeah, well, he actually built this over the top of those.
And the Colosseum was built on that same land.
Oh, I love the Colosseum.
Me too.
Trajan had a spectacular relationship with governmental bodies in Rome. In fact, he treated the Roman Senate with great respect. One of the ways that he had such a good relationship with them is because he avoided policies that could potentially ruin his relationship with the Senate. He also gave powers to local leaders in towns. This decentralized the government. Trajan made a conscious effort to keep all of his relationships with governmental leaders positive. Watermelon. Oh, hello there. I'm just in the mood to talk about Trajan, especially his cultural advancements. In fact, his expansion of the empire created a multicultural, multi-ethnic melting pot that is still relevant today. Delicious! Although he didn't make many advances personally in the arts, unlike his architecture, the artistes of the time still did make some advancements, although it wasn't necessarily directly related to Trajan. Trajan had a stroke on way back from Italy in the city of Selinus. He was deified by the Senate. His ashes were buried under the Trajan column.
Trajan is viewed in history as one of the best emperors, if not the best emperor of all time, and is one of the 5 good emperors of Rome.
We agree as a whole for our group with this reputation, not only because of what Trajan did to expand the Roman Empire on the frontiers with all of his great military conquests, but because of what he did at home to really advance and improve the lives of the ordinary citizens in Rome, and really just how he was able to decentralize the government, make improvements in all forms of government, and because of the relationship that he was able to maintain with the Senate throughout his rule, he really set quite an example for rulers to come after him.
Yeah, and the Senate actually prayed for every new emperor to be more fortunate than Augustus and better than Trajan.
Oh, hello there. The question is, what is the greatest legacy that Trajan left on the Roman Empire? I think when anyone thinks of Trajan, they really think of the militaristic contributions that he made, just in expanding Rome's borders to their largest extent ever. That's obviously one of his greatest achievements. And obviously, as we talked about before, the way that he changed really how Rome was governed by decentralizing their government and giving more power and authority to some of these local leaders is really something that, when I personally think of Trajan, that really comes to mind for me.
And actually, looking on the other side of this, he might have actually overstrained Rome's resources and by moving the imperial government into local administration and expanding the borders even farther. And one of our sources actually said that it may have led to the eventual collapse of the Roman Empire.